Hello everybody and welcome back to Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast, episode number 5 of season 4. We're coming to you live from Limelight Studios in Irvine, the new spiritual home for the poddy. The summer house will always live in our hearts. My name's Paul Alexander Montgomery and I'm joined in Adidas. That's 2 weeks in a row we've unintentionally put on kind of matching costumes. It's Callum Michael Scott.
It is indeed, because literally when I came you picked me up to drive up here the night and I came in front of your motor and I just pointed and I was like, what we do? Because I deliberately wore this because, well, we'll go on to Oasis after,
Aye.
because I thought it was bright and different, because I think it was it Alibaba in the forums?
Somebody remarked that we had
said was it black t-shirts, even though mine was actually navy.
It was, mine was black, but so we thought we'd brighten up a wee bit, but we knew a lot like we're don't know, with chavs, Neds, Bams.
Retro. Aye. I like this kind of style.
You do, suits you, mate. Very smart.
Aye,
you're just about to play Andre Agassi at Wimbledon.
Well, I would need a good feeler cut out for that, which I've got two feelers uppies and all, man. But I do like this one. We'll fit by sometimes. Well, it's not exactly Killie colours.
No, but it's nice colours.
Green, turquoise, whatever.
Okay, fit check done.
I know, well,
bringing it back.
We're not going to the rest there.
No, it's top halves only, man. I'm here in cycling shorts. Right, everybody, loads and loads to get through, of course. Hibs yesterday, 2-each draw with quite a sensational moment in the game that we'll no doubt cover. We've got Dundee United in the Cup this Sunday. We'll do your questions on the X. We've got Alan's Gripe of the week. We've also got all roads lead to Killie, so plenty to get through.
Hundreds of questions again.
Aye. So that'll be the main body of the poddy. See what I've done there?
Good rhyme as always.
So what do you think of the new studio then? Do you feel better this week? I felt last week the first maybe 10 minutes didn't I think I was on form.
No, you were. Well, nobody would have noticed it anyway.
Too kind.
Particularly with how good the editing is for the pod as well.
Well, that's the main thing.
That was all done in one take. It was all done in one take. You can evidently see the mistakes for us anyway. But no, absolutely love it. It's class. But we've brought a bit of home ways, haven't we?
That's right, mate. Aye.
So we've got the coconut, as you pointed out last week.
The coconut always has to be here.
We've obviously got the flag. But I think most weeks then we should do a wee kind of show and tell.
Okay.
And then whoever we get on as a guest, they should always bring something, and then
bring an item.
Something to show to the cameras and go through and just give a wee backstory. Just mind when you're at school and all that.
I have to bring something in. Okay, right, we'll think about that then. Right, mate, let's get going. Obviously it's all roads lead to Edinburgh over the past weekend and tomorrow as well. One of the biggest events, and certainly in Scotland this year, has been happening. Something that people thought they would never see. A sensation. People were crying, hugging each other. Obviously I'm talking about Ben Brannan's volley. Hey,
I think I was going to say Killie getting a result.
So forget Oasis, man. Let's before we even get into the ins and outs of the game. You were up at Easter Road. I watched it on TV. What a finish for that boy, man, and what a start to his Killie career he's made. As I said to you in the car, mate, it's obviously just a brilliant strike. Volley into the top corner. It's not something you see every week. But even if you just analyse how good a goal it is, the wee step back at it, he's actually moving back as he volleys it, and it's just perfect the way it loops right up over the goalkeeper. You were there in person. I jumped right off my couch when it happened. Unbelievable. It
was just complete and utter disbelief in the stands as well. Because you see the ball break to him, and you're not, obviously nobody's expecting it, but when you see him take the shot and you're like, fair play again, he's got that confidence. We've seen him already shooting early, taking shots on the air, faulting the team, wouldn't he? And then you done that and you just seen it whip up and you're like, no way, and you just see the net ripple a wee bit, and then everything, you see them run away and you're thinking that's went in, and everybody's gone absolutely bonkers. But it's just I've never seen a goal like it, man, for Killie per se. Or did Mark Roberts score a kind of similar one? Or am I getting mixed up?
I don't think Roberts was as good. His was a volley for a long way out, but just think like the way he shapes his body and he's leaning back. It's just you just don't see loads and loads of goals like that. But I know even the goalie's effort makes it look even better. The goalie's at full stretch
and he doesn't get it. And I know it sounds like the cliche and all the rest of it, but it's one of them. If somebody does that in EPL or La Liga with Barcelona, Real Madrid, particularly that, somebody 18-year-old, like, it's everywhere. And I think that you've got to hope that surely got to be goal of the month at least, and then I think it's goal of the season. I don't think you'll see a better goal.
No, really,
because the technique and that,
that's it, mate. It's Paul Scholes levels of
Aye,
quality, you know what I mean?
aye.
That's the type of goal he would have been proud in. Aye, it's just absolutely wonderful, and it obviously caps a really, really, really impressive comeback, mate, to get into the actual game. Obviously, we had somebody making their debut. How have we gone about pronouncing this boy's name?
What? Brown?
Aye, Shouty Brown? Shouty Brown? Did you not see the back of his strip?
No, I didn't see. No,
He's
no.
double barreled. He's Shite Brown.
Is it? Aye.
Hold on.
Shut up! I've not even seen that. I didn't notice it at the game at all.
Aye, man.
Because obviously stands at Easter Road are the ideal for
Let me get
seeing
up
everything.
my device
And
here.
you know the controversy with especially seeing the names and numbers in the back of Kilmarnock strips anyway.
There you go.
Most of them.
Ethan Lake Shelty Brown.
I didn't realise it. Is that right?
Aye,
And
that's
it actually got it in the back of his tap and all.
Aye, there it's there.
Oh well, there we go. I would just go with Ethan Brown, man, for easiness. Man.
Well, aye. That would be easy. But anyway, he did very well. We obviously came into the team. We've been light at the back. Then Stanger gets sent off last week. A wee reshuffle. Rory comes into the team and all. We didn't make a great start, mate. So what was your kind of reflections on the team that we picked, and then the kind of opening few minutes of the game?
Well, in the morning the way up, to be fair, me and Rory both said nobody was expecting Lions not to be there. I think everybody knew that his missus was expecting a win on that. So congratulations, Brad, for bringing merrier jeans into the world.
What about the Roy Keane? Do you think of the Roy Keane?
Oh no, well, there's a big debate in the forums now, isn't there, as well?
Was it him that was having the baby?
Exactly.
Got to be there. He's got to be there. Happiest day of his life.
Especially
until he gets a new deal with us.
But I think that so nobody was. I don't think anybody legislated for him not being in the team. So, but in the way up we knew we were short at the back, and me and Rory both said that you're like, why no throw him in? Rory seen a wee bit of him last year anyway. He goes to some of the reserve games and that, and I think he was on loan at was it Hurlford or was he on loan at Kilmarnock or something a couple of years ago, and Rory seen him playing Hurlford and that
right.
was it, and said that he looked really, really good and assured, and obviously he's for Canada and that as well, so he's over, and we were saying just starting somebody like that, especially at centre half in such a obviously it's a under pressure position and that.
Aye.
I think it gets kudos for the fans anyway. I mean, any young player coming in, but it's like, especially throwing somebody into that. Like I think the likes of Lee Ashcroft, Mark O'Hara over the years getting thrown into that kind of defensive role right away. I think that the fans get behind it as they would kind of any young player. But so I was delighted when I seen that he was starting anyway. Instead of trying to fit obviously square pegs and round holes or whatever.
Aye.
And I thought he done very, very well. And I'm so pleased. I've not seen it back properly, but obviously the wee kind of penalty shout with the handball, obviously it comes off his body first. There's nothing he can do about it. But you're thinking that's the last thing we do need. And then I think Brannon nearly gave away a penalty when somebody at the edge of the box. But no, I thought he looked really assured, and it's one that he can look back on, and he's went and made his debut now, and it's another young player that we've brought through the system, so you've got to be pleased.
Aye, and I think it says a lot for Kettlewell early doors that, like you say, man, he's no tried to reshuffle everything and put a square peg into a round hole there. He just gave that boy the chance, and I just think that's such a good sign to all the younger guys coming through, and the team yesterday's filled with academy graduates, which is a great thing, and very clever for Kettlewell too, because these are the things that connect with the support, man.
Aye.
And it's like again there's a nod to the fans after the game. It's these wee things that maybe the previous manager wasn't so good at. So fair play to him. The first 10-15 minutes weren't too bad, but roundabout when Hibs scored before that and probably up until we score, I was fearing the worst. I put someone out on social media saying we just need to get out of here without a hosing, because Hibs were popping the ball about. We looked really leggy, I thought, at times. And I thought 2-0 was flattering us actually at that point. We were really, really struggling, mate. So did you have the same fears being in the ground?
Definitely, because I actually, as you've just said, I thought we started all right. You could definitely see that was kind of end to end. I'd say that Hibs definitely had the better of it, but for the minute Hibs scored to Polworth scored, it was one-way traffic. And we were saying that, we're thinking, surely no, this can't be, is this away record again? Can we not play away for him? And you don't want to keep going back and drawing to McInnes, but it's only natural at this point. But you're like, it's got to be McInnes-esque, like, particularly in that first season when you conceded away for him, you're like, all right, well that's us now. So again, that just shows like, the immense credit that they deserve for getting back into the game, and to kind of touch back on the young players and to touch back again on McInnes. I know it seems like a pot shot, but McInnes doesn't play Brown yesterday. I just don't see it. If he's still in charge, he tries to fill somebody else in one of their roles and goes with experience. And I dare say that I don't think that Ben Brannan gets a run in the team that he does either. Again, it's just purely my opinion. You obviously can't.
Bitter, mate.
I know, it's bitter. Well,
Bitter.
Tell everybody about the t-shirt you had.
There's a beautiful t-shirt. We nearly got it made for Killie Con. It was Matthew sent me the photo of Cal and Derek McInnes, best buddies. Was that after we won the league? They're cuddling up to one another, and I had it on a black t-shirt. But I just ran out of time to get it made. So
well, again, that was, he obviously broke my heart again at the weekend. But Mr. Stewart's Finlay, but that'll be the last we speak about him until we play Hearts in October. But honestly, like that I just think particularly in those positions when it's defensive. Again, strikers and that. McInnes obviously gave Bobby Wills his debut, gives David Watson his league debut and stuff like that. But I just don't think that he puts that much trust in a 18-year-old centre half. I don't see it happening. And Ben Brannan, especially with obviously Thompson coming in as well, that's the kind of thing that we would see over the years. The young player would immediately get dropped, and he's no. He kept well stuck with Brannan at left wing back, playing out of position and really flourishing as well.
Aye, so we obviously get back into the game and an outstanding bit of skill for Big Dackers, the big Green Bay Packers.
After all the abuse he was getting
it on the group chat and all, to be honest,
and
get him off.
Rory gave him at the ground as well, so I remember him being vocally shouting at him at one point, but saying that they obviously kind of rated him at times, but he just looked like he was sauntering about, and then a couple of minutes after he goes and produces that bit of magic.
Prime Canu, mate. Canu.
Very similar actually with that, isn't it?
But so the big man I thought was struggling, but he wasn't the only one. But produces that bit of magic for Naylor, really sets up the goal for Polworth. And then I actually thought he had a really good game. He's obviously a confidence player, mate, but there's definitely a player in there. I know he was getting it a wee bit yesterday on social media. It's just the way it is. It's the Colin Nash syndrome. He can't hide. He's too big. He's too gangly. And your automatic response to guys who are that physically big is when he does be physical. But I actually thought even when he's back to goal, he had some really nice touches, really nice layoffs. And he's very young, I know, by the way. I think he's only 20 or 21, so plenty to work with there. And a tremendous assist. No, a word I'm very keen on, but I did great for Paul's goal.
Well, he's not been credited with assist, remember?
I did take a deflection or something.
Because there's no try to cut it back and it goes to Daniels first and then breaks to Polworth immediately. But again, I've no watched it back, but at the time I remember it kind of taking a deflection, so you're saved there for getting to stats based.
Okay, but and Polworth again, who again I thought had a decent enough game. Again,
came into it after scoring. Absolutely. Because I was raving about him last week and being like, he was getting into challenges, he was winning the ball back, but again yesterday, but as you just said, like nobody was at it. I thought Davy Watson was the only one really with like proper for the players that you're expecting stuff out of. Davy Watson was the only one taking the ball and trying to make things happen at early doors. But for the minute Polworth scored, they just obviously lifted everybody, lifted the fan base, and lifted all the players in the park. But after that, Polworth again had a very good game, and you're just thinking, this is what everybody knows. And I think it was actually Martin said in the Killie View podcast, he's done more in the last 2 games than he did all last season. And I tend to agree with that. But it's in a good way, because it's folk are excited again, and now you're seeing what Liam Polworth can bring to a decent Premiership side.
Fair play, mate. So we're going. Well, I thought we were the better team in the second half, definitely. That outrageous goal for Ben Brannan, which will go down in the annals of Killie history for how good a goal it was. I think we've got a question about it actually. But just beyond that, mate, like obviously Jamie Brandon again, mate, seems to be very involved in the play, puts his still about, he's fit. He's another one with assists. But talking about Ben Brannan, like the goal aside, for him to come into the team like that, mate, when this time last year he's playing age group football, I mean, Watson is probably similar because he came into the team and made such a big impact straight away. He's got that 3-year deal. He's going to break the record for the 2 million, isn't he? You've got to think, man, like for the trajectory that he's on now, if he stays up at that, he'll be lucky to be here this time next year. Absolutely tremendous.
Well, you hope so for both, because broken record, but we need to sell more of our youth products. I mean, we've spoke about this time and time again on here that we don't do that nearly enough. So to see somebody come through like that, you want to enjoy them and see them flourish, but the same way you want to see them kick on with their career. And I think that he's already had the links before. He was doing on loan at no on loan and trial at Tottenham beforehand, remember, and then obviously come back up the road and get a deal with Killie, because I think we offered him a contract and he turned it down, went down to Spurs, and then ended up coming back up and signing a deal with Killie. So that was 2 seasons ago. So you know that there's interest there in the fact that, I mean, his goal returns absolutely,
it's ridiculous.
And every goal,
if he was a centre forward, you'd be delighted with that goal return.
And every goal has been brilliant. The technique he came in for the left hand side and stepping into shots to then that and yesterday was just unbelievable. So no, he's one I'm really excited about. And again, to give myself some credit here, when I went to
pat myself in the back.
So I brought him through. You see, right? It was all my idea. But no, when I went to the open training session last year, that's what I said. I said he was one of the players that stuck out a mile to me. And that was when he was never near the team. That was October last year.
I seen him for the reserves and he played central midfield. And
I
thought he looked tiny, but I thought he looked like he was a real football player. So, we're delighted with that, mate. And he's went for somebody that you're like, oh, yeah, that's great to have him run about the first team. You can't drop him.
You can't drop him.
He's more than run about the first team. He's one of the first picks. So he'll have a dip in form, you'd imagine. So you just go to, I just hope that Kettlewell, and I think he will let him have the dip in form and no bomb him out. You know what I mean?
Honestly, believe that
for a week, but let him play through 2 or 3 bad games, because he'll play through it and he'll come back. But I mean a goal that will live forever, really. Oasis.
That was absolutely
live forever.
Wasn't it?
Will it live forever? Definitely, maybe.
What about his interview after the game?
This is the partner that we need, mate.
I mean, this is all we want, man. We don't expect much, mate. But see the minute you start chest beating, that's all we care about.
Play to the galleries, please.
But it was good though, wasn't it?
It was good. What's your expectations this season? To play as many games as I can and become a Kilmarnock legend. I need that.
Superb.
That's
legend, a word used in this podcast, probably more than it should. Far too often. But indeed, we do hope that Ben Brannan becomes a Kilmarnock legend. But I'm not excited. He's one of the ones that you're excited to go and see now. And there's that buzz about him. Lad mates that were Rangers and Celtic fans texting me about him and that, saying like, what this goal, what's this boy like and that. So that's the kind of buzz that you want when your players, and something that we had when Watson first come through, but before that, even when we brought through a lot of these young guys under Kenny, I don't think that they hit it like that, you know what I mean, and get and kicked on as early. So let's just hope that, as you said, he's got to have his dip in form, but Kettlewell will let him play through that, which is good, and he's only got grown confidence for it. There's the sirens, man.
Is that Scott Cameron? What about Big Daniel's not playing in David Watson?
Well, when I was at we're their side of the ground at that point, as everybody's aware, but when that happened, I was screaming for him to play in Watson anyway, but you didn't see it back, and I've only seen a still of it, and I'm like, I can't believe that he's not slapped him through, man.
It's shocking for the big man. And Watson's doing his dinger. He's obviously, because it's so much easier, and all. It's no like it's a difficult pass. Just slide him in, and Watson's clean through, and he has a big wild swing at it. And even then, Daniel strikes me as the guy. He's maybe a bit of a maverick. He maybe will be greedy in a lot of situations like that, which isn't a bad thing all the time. But even he kind of put his on up. You thought, oh, big man, just play him in. But he was a wee bit quieter. I thought Dackers was the better of the two yesterday. But again, he puts himself about. He doesn't hide. So that's a positive, I would say. Well,
the main thing for me with Daniels was he was creating stuff out of nothing, because of the way he was pressing and putting pressure under the Hibs goalie, who had a bit of a nightmare at times. Every time the ball went back to him, in the centre halves and the lack of communication. So he kind of thrived after that, and that's where that, I believe, thinking back for when I was at, that's where that chance came for, because he done all that work himself. But all you had to do was slap through Watson, man, and then you've got a clear shot at goal, and you'd like to think that you got 3-2. But it's one of them. He'll learn for it, you'd hope, but as you said, I think he'll take shots on all the time, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing either. But he's just got that. He's self-assured and he's confident in himself.
Not a bad thing. And again, just before we kind of wrap up, then I thought Thompson did well when he came on again.
He did, which he needed that, man.
He needed that. Looked much happier, much better. I honestly do think he'll be a decent player for us. And I thought Kiltie looked busy. I know when he came on, I was probably a wee bit disappointed that the team had to have such a reshuffle and Kiltie still couldn't get in it. But I thought he came on and looked really good carrying the ball and fit and strong, so another positive to take, I would say.
particularly though Thompson for me, especially that one, and it's Kiltie that slips him through where he just makes that overlapping run for the left hand side, and you can see the pace that he's got, and he puts a great cross in the box as well for that one. And it was good to see Kiltie come back into the fore a wee bit, because I obviously tipped him to potentially be player of the year for us. I thought at times though he maybe found that a bit harder to get up to pace of the game, but again that's the difference. So you're seeing something different for me, which is healthy. Because obviously I'm a huge Greg Kiltie fan. I was delighted to have him back, but I'm just hoping that he can really get some minutes under his belt, and because I really do think he'll contribute, and we need that, especially coming off the bench. But I'm now starting to think that we maybe need an air striker.
I think
of the ilk that one of the two of them, Dackers or Daniels, because I just don't think Watkins has got to be here.
No, I thought it feels like Watkins will go. Him and McCrory, I still would gamble on them both leaving. But listen, bottom line is it's a brilliant point. It's a brilliant point anyway. I think getting up to Easter Road where our record isn't great, but considering the circumstances, coming back and getting a 2 each, and it bodes really well, mate, in terms of the spirit of the team, how much the players are buying into it. I think it's a really good sign, and we remain unbeaten under the Ket effect.
Well, that's true, in 90 minutes. And the thing that stuck out as well, nobody's going on like the fit bar, and again I think Alan Taylor actually said this on the forums, like we're not going on like it's Mixu-esque, and you're thinking but you can definitely see. I mean, there was a passage of play in the first half that was brilliant, and I think it was like ball inside Watson, then a third man run for Brandon, slapped him through, cross in the box, we got a corner at it, but just the kind of thing you just wouldn't have seen last year at all. So and sometimes we're still a wee bit off it, but it's just welcoming that we're not just getting the ball and shelling it and try to play our seconds. And again, we're no footballing purists either, and we're no football snobs. Like, we know that there's a time and a place for that as well, but it's just good to see them always trying something different, and you could definitely see passages of that yesterday.
Excellent, mate. So okay, point on the board, keeps us mid-table, still unbeaten. Dundee United in the Cup next week. Dundee United had a really positive result in Europe, obviously drawn 2-2 with Rapid Vienna.
It's a great result, isn't it?
You're hoping that they can finish the job and get themselves through good for the coefficient and all that. You're hoping it goes to extra time on Thursday night, regardless of what the result is, really, for our perspective. But for the opportunity to get into a quarter final, because we were unseeded and all that, it's a decent draw. We're at home. I think we're more than capable of beating Dundee United. I don't think they're brilliant. I've seen them a couple of times now, and they're all right. They're functional, but they've still got quite a lot of new players bedding into. So how confident do you feel going into Sunday?
I just think as I pointed out before, it's like the reverse of what happened to us last year when we drew Motherwell away, where it's like Dundee United only fancy come down to Rugby Park after the back of a European game, and potentially we still made European games to play. So it's definitely a winnable tie when you consider that you could have drawn Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen, Hearts, whatever. So no, I'm pleased with it, and I think that Kettlewell's put a bit of emphasis into the cups. I mean, he was right at the beginning saying that the folk treat these as pre-season, it will not be him. Like, it's important that the club has a cup running. To McInnes's credit, that was always something that he was big on, and did eventually get us back to Hampden for a semi-final and all. But I'm again not confident as in that nothing would surprise me that happened. Just because there's nothing given yet, evidently, with 2 draws, you know what I mean, and chucking a 2-goal lead and then coming back for a 2-goal lead. So you just don't know what to expect for us. But I just think that if I was a Dundee United fan, I wouldn't be counting my chickens.
No, I think exactly like the Motherwell one. I think if you're a Dundee United fan, you're probably thinking you get beat on Sunday. I think you're thinking it almost means more to us to get through to that quarter final. They're in Europe, and so I'm quite confident on Sunday. I think we'll win. And get through to the quarter final. And I think already then, if you're talking about a cup run, I think a quarter final is a cup run. You know what I mean? Because you're getting that. Obviously, you really want to be getting to a semi-final or a final or winning the thing, but even getting to a quarter final with the kind of caveat of the semi-final makes it feel like a big occasion. So I know I feel confident, mate, and I'm interested to see what the team will be. And I think a home tie in the last 16 is all you can ask for. So
who does Lions come back in for? Because he'll play.
I would bring him in for Mackenzie, probably. In at the middle of the park would probably be my instinct on that. And
obviously Stanger will come back in.
Well, somebody's asked about that. Would you keep Stanger? Would you bring Stanger in, or would you keep Schreilte Brown?
It's one of them. I've actually really liked the look of Stanger so far anyway. And I think that he's got a bit of everything, and I think it's important to how the back three will play, because you don't want like Lewis Mayo playing left centre half.
No.
He can do it though. Like, you know what I mean? That's the one of the joys of Lewis Mayo. You can play him anywhere across the back line, and he'll
The joys of Lewis Mayo.
He'll do you a job. But I think that, I mean, by the looks of things, Kettlewell's first choice three will be Stanger on the right, Mayo on the right, Stanger in the middle, and Dees on the left. So I think that we could easily see that shaping up again, which might be harsh and Brown, but the fact of the matter is, folk were surprised to see him get thrown in Sunday. And he had a good game and looked assured, and looks like he can definitely play at this level. But wasn't like he was man of the match or anything. I don't mean that in a harsh way.
No,
but I just mean
man of the match now for Carl.
No, but I mean, like, it's not like Brannan where it's his jersey to really lose. Like, I think Brown knew that he was coming in to be a stopgap there and done very well. And again, if he's somebody that can go and play maybe 10, 15 times this season, like off the bench or whatever, that's a good return. So I think that we'll probably see that our more so-called first choice back three.
Fair. And prediction for the game before we move on to the X?
2-0.
2-0 at Dundee United.
Aye,
right.
Exactly.
Looking forward to Oasis tomorrow?
Can't wait, man. Actually, I'm absolutely buzzing for it, to be quite truthful.
Me too.
Probably. Well, you've seen them before, haven't you?
Seen them before back in the day, aye, but I think it'll be an altogether different experience. It got a wee bit gnarly the last couple of times I seen them. Atmosphere was a wee bit kind of off.
Aye, you obviously can't tell what you told me before. Something that you saw at that night that'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
Very unpleasant sights and sounds, but it was obviously good. But aye, it was like they were coming towards the end of their run, and the crowd was a wee bit tetchy.
It was like the end of the Jeffries era at Killie.
It was the end of the Jeffries era, very much. Aye, they had Mark Butchell on playing bass and all that. Which wasn't working.
Nah.
But it was. It was a wee bit like, it was still brilliant to see them and everything, but I think this is an altogether different experience. I've had messages for loads of different folk. Paul Gray in particular had a wonderful time.
He did have a good time.
A really good time, and he was saying he'd seen them loads of times, so he said it was really exceptional. Fogsy was there this weekend. He was saying the same.
Well, you've not seen him to say a bad word about it. And as I kind of had a discussion with you and Flecky, like, well, you know, I can be a bit of a music snob. You know,
no need for the word music there, mate. Food snob, film snob, music. Well, that boy Brown's to get dropped because he never get man of the match. Fitba snob.
Exactly, but it's one of them with Oasis. I almost kind of distance myself. Like, obviously, I really like Oasis. I would go as far as saying that I love Oasis, but I wouldn't immediately have them top of my list as any of my favourite bands. And it's not until you actually sit and you listen to, and you're like, that they're incredible, man. And as I said, when you get through that set list, you're like, you just said. Was it Stevie Smith or something that sent you a set list of the songs that they're not playing, and it would be absolutely banging as well. So it's got to be surreal, because I missed out on tickets at the beginning, and then thanks to our good friend Mick Grant was able to help us out. And now I'm buzzing because I would have had pure FOMO than if I wasn't gone.
It's going to be class. So I'm going to tomorrow with Flecky and Merck. So a good Killie representation up at Murrayfield tomorrow. So happy days. Right, man, let's go to the X and answer the questions, of which there are 33.
Is there 33 now? Because there was 29 last I looked at.
33, so let me get to them. Let me go. Maybe no 30, there might be 33 comments.
It's funny again because obviously we Johnny that came from up north that was staying with me that came to KillyCon.
Aye.
So
who does he support?
Forest Mechanics. Forest Mechanics and Kaiserslautern, genuinely.
Oh.
He's a Kaiserslautern fan.
Kaiserslautern.
Exactly. So he saw it on the flag. He's a footballing hipster, to be fair. He loves all his European football and all that. I could tell you in about, I don't know, a German third division side and all that. But he listens to the pod sometimes. Good him to come down for KillyCon, of course. But he didn't realise, he obviously watched the video pod last week and loved it. He's like, why they got the questions so early? And he's like, I didn't realise the amount of questions that you get. And he's like, then it was about 30 questions. He's like, why they got the questions about halfway through this? So listen, again, that's a credit to
the questions are the key component.
Well, it is, because it's a lot less work for us, isn't it? Because I just file in questions and we'll answer them.
Let the people have their say. Right, speaking of which, let me get my information device up. It's a tragic point in any man's life. That's me, 39. Had to up the font size in my phone.
No, you didn't.
I've just up
no, you didn't,
up
man.
A wee smidgen.
Oh,
just gets hard on the eyes, Cal.
What's that? You're 40 in March, is it?
40 in March. So just a wee.
You know, done that thing where you can turn off with the blue light and all that on your phone. It goes off at a certain time and comes on at a certain time. Stuff like that should help your eyesight and get you to sleep better and all that.
Right, Killie View podcast. Hello, guys. Under Derek, we fold and lose by 3 or 4. As poor as the first half was, we showed great character and resilience, which no team did under Derek. We could have even gone on to win it. Last week felt like a defeat, but yesterday the complete opposite. And I'm excited for the next game already. Good point, boys. Christopher Kermit. The first and second half performances, why were they so different? With a fully fit squad, what is your team selection now after that 2-2 draw? And finally, I'm loving the youngsters playing in the double D connection up front. Do we still need more firepower going forward? You said yes. So fully fit squad, that's a good question. It's hard because you're talking about Kennedy and that's Tiffany and
Kennedy, Tiffany, Kiltie.
You know what I mean? Where do they come in? So I think you've just kind of got to go with something similar to yesterday, but maybe Fire Stanger back in there in Lions.
So
is that about as strong as we get now?
When I say I think that we need another striker, I just think it's because of the way we're actually approaching games, because I don't think that Anderson and Watkins are fulfilling what Kettlewell's expecting these two front men now. Right. Just with that, because you're starting with the two of them who are both big handfuls, and the thing is, Watkins can be, like, we've seen Watkins lead the line against Rangers and Celtic and run the game before, but he just seems so far out the picture at the moment, and we're obviously big Bruce Anderson fans as well, but he's a penalty box striker, you know.
Definitely.
So I just think that we'll see somebody else come in that's more like an all-round player a wee bit, that's kind of similar to Dackers and Daniels, but the fact of the matter is we need somebody that's got to score goals.
Yes.
Big Daniels already got one, and I think Bruce Anderson he is our most prolific striker, but I just think because it's the changes the last 2 weeks, I think have shown us that, particularly the Livy game when the two of them came off. I thought we were really poor, and I think even similar yesterday as well, I think that we fell out it ever so slightly and Hibs come back into it when the two of them come off, because they're a handful and they occupy defenders. Okay.
Mikey Kenmure, hello Mikey boy. A game of two halves. Have to admit I was in a fit of depression after 40 minutes. Football was a lot to answer for emotionally. True, mate. How can the half-wits on sports scene say Hatate's goal was better than Brannan's? Absolutely clueless goal of the season from the young man. I've not seen Hatate's goal. I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I know Brannan's was better.
That's right, tunnel vision, mate.
I don't need to.
We've got a blue tinted specs on, thank you very much. We don't need to see anything else.
I've not seen it, mate, and Brannan's wins, definitely. The real Boydie gets in touch. Stuart Boyd forgot to comment last week, so I'm late for the KillieCon loving, but I just want to say a massive belated congrats to you guys. Great to have a chat with you both, as ever, mate. We love you. Referring back to my last pod questions, how do we like Cal the Peacock Scott as his darts nickname? That's what. So obviously for those of you that maybe just joining the podcast, Cal's got a genuine phobia of peacocks. That is a wee bit peacocky, that top.
What, as in,
just get peacock toads to it.
So physically, as opposed to what it represents, as opposed to like me being cocky or whatever.
No, just like that. I would associate the
colours with a peacock.
Interesting.
That's right. It's like Batman, isn't it?
In what way?
Well, Batman was fearing of bats.
Aye, right. So that's why he embodied the bat.
Aye.
That's obviously what you're doing. So you're quite happy with that nickname then?
I just couldn't, man.
Are we doing Ben the Cannon Brannan?
That's good, aye. Quite like that.
I know, because somebody said the Bomber. We tried to get Bomber going, but I think the Cannon Brannan.
Bomber, right after when we were talking about Bomber Brown.
Bomber Brannan, but the Cannon. Ben Brannan.
I like Bomber Brannan, that's funny.
Well, you let the people pick. Right, Captain Conquer, the most gorgeous squirrel in the world. Is Daniels not playing in David Watson yesterday the biggest what-if moment so far?
Repeat again, sorry.
If Daniel's not playing in Watson.
Oh, Daniel's not playing in Watson. Oh, absolutely.
Big man's.
Because you're right if you do that. But again, it's because we came out with a draw, and after being 2-0 down, we all know how good a point it is. But had we ended up getting beat there, that would have maybe had a lot more to say about that, which I can absolutely understand.
With Arthur's seat going on fire yesterday, what's a game you remember because of an event out with the football?
Saddam's child soldiers. I'm 6'2". I'm just going to message that. I'm going to bring that up every single week. No, there's obviously been kind of many things that are associated, but no, I don't.
You went like that Frank Lampard thing. No, but seriously, there have been many moments.
There have been though, but things I don't know whether I could repeat.
No, it's best to just stay away.
Aye, but again, that was a shocker yesterday. Because especially when they said the Holyrood area, so because obviously we're in the stand, so it's directly behind us, but the Hibs fans at the top of the other tier could have seen that and knew it was Arthur's seat. But when they just said there's a fire in the Holyrood area, I thought my work was getting set on fire.
Aye, remember when there was the volcano and all the football got stopped?
Aye,
in Iceland. That was
that's
when
right.
Was it Zidane was meant to sign. No, Lewandowski was meant to sign for Blackburn.
Was he?
Aye, and then his flight got cancelled and ended up no going, and he signed for somebody else, and the rest is history.
He would have been good under Steve Keane at
He would
Blackburn.
have been tremendous. And can we give Ben goal of the season award just now? Yes.
Aye, absolutely. Man.
Absolutely. Ali Nevin, hello Ali boy. Do you put Stanger back in on Sunday? It's a no from me. Brown did enough to keep his jersey after a solid display. After making such a big deal about our clean sheets, we've now given up 4 goals. How crucial is it we sign at least one defender before Dundee at home?
It was funny because it's like the kind of opposite of what I've said. But
aye.
I can absolutely see the logic. But I just think that I think we will see Stanger back on Sunday, and knowing the way like stubbornness and being like, oh, go tried and tested. I just think that I just think that's what it'll be, particularly there. And again, and I don't think Brown will be too upset with that. Of course, he'll feel like he's earned the right to start again, but I think that he'll still have a role to play for the rest of the season. So, but again, who knows? We don't know till that team sheet comes out at 2 o'clock on Sunday.
And we do need another defender. Need to do it about that.
Oh, without doubt. Aye, we need a defender before Ndaba gets sold, and
aye.
We're already short now.
So we'll see, mate. Thomas Wilson gets in touch and says, considering the squad we have, how many players do you think we still need, and at what positions do you think we need players for?
So I would say we need maybe 2 defenders short, and maybe a new striker.
Yes, I agree, 3.
But again, that's way folk going out as well, as far as I'm concerned.
That'll be Watkins, and what's the story?
Aye.
It's another Oasis one for you boys.
What is the story of Ross McIlroy?
What actually is the genuine story. Gavin Harhilson gets in touch. Am I being greedy or unrealistic when I say that Sunday feels a wee bit like 2 drop points? You said that in the car. And we missed out on a comeback for the ages. If Daniels had shown an ounce of composure and slipped in Watson, the game was in the bag. Still, Ben Brannan. Wow.
Aye, so that's the way I would look at it. Particularly when we scored, I thought Hibs were rattled. And you saw that with the chances that we created thereafter, and we just never taken any of them. And again, I think it got to that where we realised we're probably not got to get one now, so we'll take a point back down the road. Which, again, if you asked us after 25 minutes, we would come out there with a point. You would have bit their hand off for it.
Yes.
But I can see the logic, because I thought Hibs were rattled, but I thought towards the end of the game it looked like Hibs, if anybody, were going to nick it.
Yep.
Not that I thought we were under a great deal of pressure, but I just thought they had a bit more impetus going forward and were a bit more kind of direct. So, no, I can absolutely see what Gavin Harhilson saying that.
Alright, Kyle Anderson. I'm happy with a point yesterday after being 2-0 down. What about the strike from Brannan? As to do it while moving backwards as well. Unbelievable strike,
Yeah.
I agree, mate. Think he'll be a big player for us this season, and he's already scored 4 in all competitions. Absolutely, mate. 4 by the end of the season would have been a good return for a boy his age in that position. So you're spot on,
We're
mate.
really talking about good returns tonight, aren't we, man? With everything, with appearances, goals.
Is that what it is? The night of the good
I think
returns?
that's 3 times, aye.
Is it? Right, I'm going to stop saying it. Stuart Snowden, 2 questions for you this week. To the nearest 1,000, how many times have you watched Ben Brannan's Equaliser?
Probably only the first 1,000, to be fair.
Aye, I'm only 800.
Because I've told you, I've not watched the game back yet at all. I've not watched the highlights around.
No, I'd be too busy working today.
I was, man. Told you I didn't get back. It was a 2-hour commute home today.
Aye, it's no easy.
But I just listened to the set list for the Bora.
Oh.
Brown sitting in traffic going through Glasgow City Centre, man.
Aye.
I'm sitting.
What song are you excited for tomorrow?
Acquiesce.
Aye.
Aye.
Does that remind you of your brothers?
Aye, maybe it does, aye.
When you've got a household DIY issue, you're like, John,
Aye.
we need each other.
Aye, he doesn't need me for anything right enough, man.
He's never sung that, do you?
Nah, absolutely not. But aye, I need John for a lot of things.
Aye, you do. Right.
Matthew knows so much.
Okay. Stuart Snowden's second question is, why has the near post corner for a headed flick on fallen out of fashion? Used to cause chaos for defences.
True, aye.
Fair enough.
We see. No, I'm not going to mention him.
shh.
Sorry.
Don't. Andrew Reid, so it's 2-2, the new 2-2. Can we please stop with the first half was rubbish myth? We hit the post twice, and Dacker should have scored before we did score. Not bad from a bare bones team. When can we officially start being optimistic if we do the Dundee double?
You can answer that.
Andrew Reid, I love the optimism. I'm in favour. I actually don't think we were rubbish. I thought Hibs were really good. That's my honest opinion.
I thought Hibs did look good.
I thought Hibs looked really decent. I think they're a good side.
Well, because that's what you were saying to me, and this was the kind of consensus, which shows how good a point it is now. There was almost a bit of a fear. You're like, oh no, like all these city clubs now, because we all know with the resources and the patter and the money that they're throwing about there now, you're thinking they actually do look a cut above us a wee bit. Only when they got ahead though.
Yep.
But they dominated that kind of 20-minute spell, and they could have scored more. But we weathered the storm, scored at a great time, and we get back and we had them rattled. So it's a great point.
And yes, I think the optimism can officially start to beat Dundee United and then beat Dundee. That's you knew made a really good start.
Aye. Big Elvis, man. He's on the laughing at him now, he is.
Aye, the big man, I know. Had a good result on Saturday, no doubt about it. Scott Allison gets in touch. When we inevitably crumble and sell Brannan to Real Madrid for 25 million, what should we spend the dough on? Not players. I'm thinking a state-of-the-art ultrasonic seagull repelling sound device on the roof of the East Stand. We hate seagulls, Scott.
I thought you was going to say the roof of the summer house, which we would agree with as well.
Even better. Aye. What would you spend it on if you weren't buying players? What would you think could be improved?
I'd be up for getting rid of the seagulls, man.
Aye.
Don't know why you don't get a hawk or something like that.
I don't know if a hawk works.
No, but get an actual hawk.
Aye, no, I don't think they work.
Aye, they do.
Do they?
Aye.
Have you seen it work?
Aye, like Atletico Madrid, I think have got hawks, haven't they?
Aye, they're in shopping in a different hawk market too. We need to get a hawk for the championship. No, with 25 mil, sign. That's it. We sign Atletico Madrid's hawk.
I would say that'd be a good deterrent, man.
Aye, let's get a hawk in there.
Or a couple of them.
Hawk and animal, the Legion of Doom.
Which is weird because of how kind of feared them are. Like birds, as in birds that fly about, i.e. peacocks, who can fly, by the way, and seagulls and all the rest of it. Hawks and that, I've got a bit of kind of admiration for, man. But I could maybe hold one. Whereas I couldn't go up physically to an earth kind of bird.
I saw a beautiful eagle in Tromsø.
Aye, things like that, aye.
Stunning.
There's something about them, man. Yeah. Particularly the eagle, the significance of America and all that.
Of course. Kenny Morrison gets ditch. Hi, Maury. We know we're short at the back, but I thought it was really obvious yesterday. Mayo and Dees aren't vocal enough, and neither look like they can organise the defence and lead from the front. I feel the team is quite quiet on the park sometimes.
See, it's funny because Dees, for a period there, I thought was pretty vocal at the back. A lot of folk were saying it was kind of having a go at folk more than anything, but I don't know necessarily agree with that. I think that he was given the vice captaincy for a reason. I think that sometimes they can be quite vocal. I just think that the big fear for me, actually, well, not the big fear, but I think at set pieces we don't look great.
Right, okay.
I just don't think that we look like really. I think that our centre halves don't really, because you're missing both Joe Wright and he who shall not be named, who didn't score for us, by the way, but he's scoring goals every week for Heart of Midlothian. But that aside, I just think that we're missing that kind of goal threat for a centre half, because Mayo doesn't score anywhere near enough as he should. Robbie Dees is the same. They obviously contribute in other blocks, Mellon enough, particularly yesterday. Mayo bailed us out a couple of times. But I think that I can see that argument, and Daba was one as well, that he missed a lot of good chances. I think that particularly when we were built around that kind of set piece prowess for a period there, and been obviously dead attacking minded for there. I think that we need to replace that. Alright,
good point, mate. Kevin gets in touch. Hi, Kev. Have we finally rediscovered our Boz during the second half at Easter Road? Not saying Dell had a teeny ball bag or anything resentful like that, but wink. There was a bit of buzz about that second half performance, mate. It was good to see. Definitely good to see. Ali Bowie, hi guys, great comeback at Easter Road. Brannan, goal of the season, wrapped up early this year with Oasis playing in Scotland. Are they?
Didn't know, man. No Oasis.
Came as news to me.
Because they're a good tribute band.
They are, I've seen them. If you had to build a band from the current squad, who would you pick? Drums, bass, guitar and frontman?
Well, this is your forte.
Right, okay, so the drummer's definitely the goalie.
Aye,
drummers are meant to be mental.
Mad, aye.
So you need I'd have
Mark Birch on the bass.
I'd have Maxey on the drums. The front man, who's got a bit of attitude? Big Daniels, maybe.
You think,
he's pretty cool, I think. Anybody come to mind for you? Jamie Brandon looks like he could play guitar.
Maybe.
He's got a wee bit of the kind of indie guitarist in him.
But Lewis Mayo would be a safe pair of hands somewhere, I think, man.
I think he does the band finances. He drives the bus. He'd stay sober.
Aye.
He'd be sensible.
He'd
be horning out the cash at the end of the night.
Have their bed and all that.
Who's play the bass? Who looks like they've got a wee bit of rhythm, a wee bit of steady rhythm? I'll go for Thompson.
Aye, that's who I thought cool. As well. Aye,
cool looking guy. Put him on the bass. Andy T, the car wrecker. I really like Andy. I never get a chance to talk to him at Killie. He's put a nice photograph up. I missed last week's questions, but once thanks again for Killie. You're so welcome. My son didn't know who anyone was, but still loved every minute, and I got a picture with the icon. That's him and wee Stevie Murray. My girlfriend, the Airfan, had a blast as well, and now wants them to organise something similar.
Superb.
There you go, spreading love. Good to see you, Andy boy. Cheers, man. Aaron Foster gets in touch. Hi, Aaron. With a great result in the capital and obviously a wonder strike from Brannan, can this spark a consistent run of form on the road, and how important is it to progress to the quarter final of the League Cup? That would be so nice to just even have a bang average away record this year, wouldn't it? Lovely.
I'm not asking for much, man. We're looking for 2 or 3 wins away for him, man, and a Hon-Fi draws with days, man.
That would be nice. And I think it is very important, mate, and I'm confident we'll do that. Scott English gets in touch. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big a job's worth do you need to be to become a footballing steward? They were causing aggro, shutting gates and trying to eject people from their seats at the Hibs side of our allocation. When called out in it, their supervisor denied any wrongdoing. So did you see this, Gal?
I did actually see that, and I meant
social unrest in the capital.
To try and get the full story, but because I think it's been spoken about in the forums, but I've not really properly caught up. So, it's just a nightmare. It's the last thing that you're wanting. Obviously, I told the story last year at Parkhead, where that steward was like the most unreasonable guy.
Because you were trying to go and talk to your niece.
So I was with my niece, Ava, of course, and her dad, and who's my brother-in-law, and my other niece were on the Celtic end, who came in to talk to us at half time. We're literally talking to him, and then the steward causing that.
Step away! Step away!
Exactly.
Shut up, man.
But again, and then what that leads to is aggro for.
I get your back up.
But then Killie fans being like to us, being, what's going on? What's happening? As if we were like, I was like, she's trying to talk to her dad, man. Like, get what I mean?
She's trying to get Lenny a fiver off clunker.
Exactly, man.
Taylor Day gets in touch.
Many fivers to tap folk as well.
I can imagine. Sorry, Taylor Day. Hi, Taylor. First half not so good, but second half much better. All thanks to our very own Scottish Cafu, Brannan, with a cracking goal of the season contender. Can't wait to see more of him. Hopefully the same on Sunday's Cup game against the Arabs. Spot on, mate, as always. Gunnar Vance, the most handsome Kilmarnock supporter out there, although Scott Jenkinson wants to challenge him for the title.
Aye, that's a good matchup.
So we can maybe get something sorted out there, a handsome off. Alright, lads, I'm feeling a lot more positive after the second half. What's with the abuse Big Dackers gets? He was our best outlet. Also remember the Del Boy flag. If we were to have a flag made up for you guys, what would be the double act?
Oh, right, I thought they were going to ask what kettlebells would be in. Obviously by Goth.
A Goth, of course.
Or like Slipknot flag or
Aye,
something.
okay.
Aye.
We've got a flag here.
I know.
We don't need any more than that.
What would the double act be?
Step Brothers.
Nah.
Nah?
Not in the Step Brothers part.
Oh, do you know?
Kinda like, this is where I see kind of comedy films changing.
Right.
So I was like a Sandler Royal.
Right.
Even though it kinda predated me slightly. But Step Brothers is like where I see a lot of folks, they're like, it's my favourite film. You're like,
is that the snobbery for this boy tonight? So that's, well, it's music.
Aye.
No, Step Brothers.
Aye.
Throw that centre pair boy. It's his dream debut. Bomb him out, mate. Get Stanger back in there.
Give me my rant of the week instead of
exactly, mate. That's what we're needing.
Double act for us, the Dudley boys, man.
Bubba Ray and D1.
Who's who?
Well, I wear glasses.
Aye.
They both wore glasses, did they?
Aye, they did, aye.
Aye, right. So it doesn't count then.
I'm Bubba Ray, man.
You Bubba Ray?
Aye.
Right,
I'll be the one that'll, I don't know, powerbomb May Young after the edge of the time.
Get the tables.
Aye.
Right, RJ1869 been brilliant watching Watson chasing every ball, vital in defence and attack. We talk about wanting players and manager to love the club. We really mentioned that Watson plays like he'd die for the shirt. Is he beyond a young sellable asset and will they have a top contract as one of the best?
Watson?
Get him on a contract, baby.
100%. I'm out of everything. There's been a lot of positives to take so far for the kettlebell reign with regards to, you know, players getting minutes and certain styles and that, but Watson's one of the ones I'm most excited about. Again, he seems to be a bit of a resurgence there. He's trusted. Yep. And remember there was a question during pre-season because he was kind of missing out a few things about that. But now I think he's definitely cemented. He's one of the first choice centre midfielders, and something that you and I have called for some time, that you should be building a team around somebody like Davy Watson. I think the kettlebell's trying to do that to an extent now, and I thought yesterday he was excellent, just digging in, man, and he just looks like he's played with Killie for 10 years.
It's an attitude thing. I think a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? If you're not playing well, just go and run about. It's a black boots, mate. It's a black football boots go a long way. Kenny Hogan, special mention to Thompson yesterday. Looked a different player. I agree, mate. Feel lots of positives about yesterday's performance, considering how poor our record is up there. Dackers looks like he's offering much more than I initially thought. Quick feet and looks intelligent. I agree, mate. Big Martin Bartley. Here's one for Monty in the 1869 section. So my young Monty's no longer in it.
That's right.
He's just back into the civilians.
Did they get banned?
I think he was just gone too crazy. This one's for you. Have we got any decent chance for the new boys in the team? Example, Yakety Yak by the Coasters for Big Dackers.
I'll let you take it away.
Well, Killie Cal come up with this idea, right?
You're better at selling things than me.
Cal come up with this idea. He's been hiding it. It's not a new player, but I'm like, this is such a missed opportunity. So the shaman, Ebenezer Good, is going to be D's is good. Robbie Dees is good. Dees is good. Dees is good. So we're going to get a flag made up with Jerry Sadowitz for the video. And Robbie Dees poking his head with them. They got any Vidas? So that's my shout. And what was the other one? Somebody else come up with one recently too.
No, did they not say the Ken the Hearts one with Claudio?
Oh, we could have done it with Corey and Daba.
Corey and Daba would have went well.
Too late. But aye, that's what we're plumbing for that one, Bartley boy.
It was a good part yesterday as well. I was hoping, I said at half time if we pull this back at begin, but you see all the Killie fans singing Hibs away.
Aye, that's quite a good one.
Aye. But Hibs will just set up for that because a brilliant tune on it. But everybody now when they win at Easter Road,
they'll do that
song.
Rub it in their faces.
But we were the first ones to do it, so we're trademarking that.
Robbie, hi Robbie. How long do you think we can keep Brannan? And when inevitably goes, how much does it go for? I think if he keeps playing like this, you'll get a year at him, and we can get maybe 3 million. I think. Aye. For his age, and
well, if he keeps scoring goals,
if he scores 10 goals this season for
it's Killie, but man, we'll completely undersell him, man.
Nah, I reckon
Celtic will come in, say we'll know how to do it, and say, alright, just 600k is fine, mate, no bother.
Nah, 3 million. I say 3 million we get at the end of this season. That's my gamble, Robbie. Greg Halbert, who's also going to Oasis tomorrow.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on the change in the club's social media output moving from YouTube to Killie TV? I'm slightly annoyed that the content feels less accessible now compared to YouTube, and some of it is now behind a paywall. I already pay for a season ticket. So
it's quite an interesting concept, to be fair. It's something that I floated a few years ago.
You can get all your forever and ever content on YouTube now, son.
Exactly. And there's other
thanks
stuff.
to the good people at Limelight Studios.
And there's other stuff behind the paywall as well. If you
don't say that.
if you want to pay for that, but no, I can see the logic. It's but more so because they launched Killie TV, because this is what it used to be like. So during the Clark era, they properly had a go at Killie TV.
Yep.
And then they completely fell off it. And I remember still paying for it. I think, what am I paying for what, a match replay? Like, so I just thought probably wee teaser things and that is probably a good way to generate income. It's maybe not for everybody because a lot of stuff's free and I 100% get that, but I just mean that this is how it was initially set up anyway, and I think they've done a good job like rebranding it with the app and all the rest of it. I think that's pretty cool, but I can see both sides. Other clubs there, like Rangers and Celtic, have got stuff on happy ball and that, but you're hoping then that it drives more content. And stuff that you want to pay for instead of
the content, mate, has to be. I think you need to make sure that the content you're putting out there
is worth paying for.
Worthy. So maybe that's what they've maybe missed out on slightly. Being like, this is the type of thing that you're going to get. So if we go, I want to see that, when it just all of a sudden feels like it's disappeared maybe slightly. So
I would hope, and I think that they probably will. They'll have stuff up their sleeve. That it's not just got to be like, oh well, here's a 30-second teaser interview, so you want to pay a £5 a month to listen to Stuart Kettlewell talk about the project or whatever.
Well, if they're looking for a podcast, Nonsense Potter gets in touch. Yeah. We're always here for these lads. By the way, I want to say hello and congratulations to the new commentary team.
Yep.
Who seem to be doing a very good job. So well done, lads.
Well done, boys.
Nonsense Potter. What do you think Kettlewell puts in the jukebox before the games to get the boys pumped up? Evanescence or System of a Down?
POD, man.
Pod.
Aye.
For us. OPM. I think it's got to be a bit of Rage Against the Machine.
That's almost too good.
Almost too good.
It's got to be something like kind of dreggy for Kerrang, man.
Papa Roach. Also too good.
Nah, not too good. Creed are Christian rock, aren't they?
They are.
Aye.
Gavin Wilson gets touched. Seeing more and more away fans complaining about us putting them up the back of the Chadwick. Is it time to let them down the front?
Absolutely, man.
Let's do it.
You've seen about it. Well, again, something that we've not even covered. The support yesterday, Easter Road, was incredible. Because I thought it was I was texting you, being a little bit flat. This is why I thought we would maybe go up and get something, because it was zero expectancy. And then
that's what.
And then when me and Rory were walking in, we could hear like there's a bit of singing, and we're like, where will we sit, kind of thing. And then we get in a wee bit late, which is my trademark. I'm never in time for the football, but I thought like that added to the atmosphere. You're closer to the pitch and all that.
It does help.
I just think that Killie need to go to the dark ages with that and let folk down the bottom tier.
There you go.
Otherwise, should they really been arrogant and just say, "We'll bring enough fans to sit down the bottom tier."
There's always that option.
Nah, but open up the bottom tier.
Callum McGee, hi Callum. Top 5 Kilmarnock wonder goals. Where does Ben Brannan's goal rate, if included? Cammy Hagel says Koulibaly's would have to be in it.
Koulibaly's up there, isn't it?
That was Chris Burke had a few. Mackenzie chip v Dundee United. Dargo v St Mirren in the League Cup semi-final. Pat Nevin had a beautiful chip.
That was his trademark.
That was a cracker. Paul Wright's goal up at Easter Road.
I love that one.
Absolute cracker. Any others that come to mind? Naismith against Hibs.
Aye. I like the Paul Wright against Hibs at home as well.
Aye,
in
that's
the
right.
3-2 game, or was it 4-2, sorry.
We've seen a fair few stoters over the years.
Aye, been plenty of good ones. The Koulibaly one, for like the sheer shock factor, like you don't see that really happen at Parkhead very often, so I would give that. Greg Stewart, I know a few good goals.
There's some
When I scored the Ibrox cut, and I know that I would have that up there, but I just mean when you're thinking,
because we were right there and all, you seen it arcing in the goalie.
Aye.
Beautiful, man.
Just when you think you don't really get that. They kind of gruns.
Aye, top 5
the ones
wonder
that kinda
goals.
stick
Aye,
out.
right, we'll maybe put a definitive list together.
Cheers for the next Patreon episode, mate.
Alec Knox, who will be the top goal scoring defender this year, do you think? The heroic, incredible, righteous and infinitely talented Ben Brannan, or that shameful rat of Gorgie?
Well, I've said enough about them tonight, man.
Aye, we competition.
I'm really, I promise I'm no obsessed, man. I'm not constantly checking their social media when they've left.
No, right. John Reid with the last question. Going with a smaller squad and reduced budget, was re-signing McGuinness and the guy from Queen's Park, Jack Thompson, too much of a gamble?
Well, obviously Jack Thompson was signed a pre-contract, so it's an interesting one to see if he fits in with Kitwell. But I think he was carrying an injury in that. Like, again, I think that he's definitely could offer something. But I think oddly he could play centre half as well.
Aye, I think he's got a bit about him. So maybe when he comes in, we'll see. Right, thanks everybody for your questions. Sincerely, thanks for all the nice feedback for last week. We definitely can hear the sound quality is much better using these microphones, and obviously the video, which seems to have gone down fairly well. We're going to get a few weeks and see how we go on. Might end up back in the summer house yet, but for now we're in here. Right.
We shout out quickly to John McMillan, who's the good Killie fan from South Queensferry. Remember I met him in the train getting back to last year's bit. As we boys set up his own YouTube channel, started vlogging and all that. I need to get the name out properly, but we'll put it out because he caught the Ben Brannan goal really well at the game, so we'll clip that and ping it out.
Get it out there.
Give it a follow, man.
Right, we're just going to head towards the end of the show, but before that we've got Alan's Gripe of the Week.
Oh, of course, aye. How could we forget, man?
So Alan's Gripe of the Week this week, everybody. Here's this week's gripe. Whilst out with the wife in the car, she noticed a couple of prams, but there weren't any children in them. There was a couple of wee dugs. Come on, how the hell are they going to get some exercise? You're pampering your wee dog. The wives or girlfriends will be wanting one next. Make the thing walk. Don't be so lazy. The prams were of different colours. What next? Advertising on prams? Well, you know what they say. People get like their pets. And as for VAR, I'll leave that for the moment. So. Hey. Last week it was mobility scooters. This week it's dogs and prams. It's Alan's Gripe of the Week.
There's a theme here already as well. But I'm going to throw somebody under the bus that does that.
Puts their dog in a pram?
Aye. Well, Alan Brun done that, but it was for the dogs because the dog couldn't walk anywhere. To be fair,
that's different.
Aye, exactly, of course. But I think that's why the folk actually do it. I don't think folk are like deciding to push them out. I think that it's genuinely for mobility reasons to take them out and about. But who knows? It wouldn't surprise me, Alan, if folks start doing that. I mean, folks start taking their cats for walks now, man.
Aye, it's
somebody that loves their cats. I wouldn't do that, man.
The world's went mad.
I wouldn't do that.
You've just got a wee app for your cat. You can see where he's at.
I've got a GPS on him.
Wee Jago.
Aye, Diego, man. So, but I know that a few folk do that as well because they love to get the dog fair to be, man.
That's the gripe of the week. Right, so just before we go to All Roads Lead to Killie, remember if you want a wee bit extra content, you can fire out to the Patreon. We done a wee international clash last week. We picked 2 Killie teams. Each player had to be from a different country and they faced off against one another. So if you fancy joining, you can. We're in the Patreon for an extra podcast a week. Otherwise, you're stuck here with us and we're loving it. And thank you for your support. Right,
aye.
Will we do All Roads Lead?
Aye, bit of pressure on me this week now, man.
Right, so raising a bit of cash for the food banks. If we get it right, we put a pound in, and at the end of the season we'll hand over all the money. I'm going to give you the teams that this player played for, including Killie, and you need to tell me the player.
Yep.
Simple as that.
And again, we'll take clues as they come.
Aye, if we need to. Aye. Right, you ready?
Yep.
So the first one starts off at Sporting Club de Portugal, aka Sporting Lisbon.
Yep.
Real Massama, PSV Eindhoven, Celtic, Kilmarnock, Trenčín, Ghent, Slovan Bratislava.
Oh. Can you say them again? I should get Celtic to Killie.
Sporting Club de Portugal, Real Massama, PSV Eindhoven, Celtic, Kilmarnock, Trenčín, Ghent and Slovan Bratislava.
I actually can't think. That should be one that would be obvious. Is it like for the turn of the millennium?
Played for us 2013-14. Alan Johnston time.
2013-14? I was going to say Ibrahim.
It is,
Is
mate.
it? Aye,
Well done.
aye.
It's
Would that well build me, because I wouldn't have. I didn't realise it started with Sporting Lisbon.
There you go, mate. Aye.
Aye.
Sporting Club de Portugal.
Aye.
Go get it right.
Sorry.
A lot of Sporting Lisbon fans will be moaning at me if we don't get it right.
That's true.
Right, well done, mate. £1 into the coffers. Right, next one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle United, Bury, Norwich City, Wigan, Blackpool, Scunthorpe, Linfield, Livingston, Hibs, Houston Dynamo, and Kilmarnock.
Paul Dalglish.
Paul Dalglish.
I used to get his goal scoring record off by heart. You got it up?
I've got it here. I've got
It
it.
used to be terrible. It was like 1 in 12 or something like that. Was it like? Oh man, I can't. I'm sure the ratio's 1 in 12, give or take.
I would say aye. It's no far off. It's 206 appearances, 22 goals. So,
Paul Dalglish,
1 in
man.
10.
Right.
Paul Dalglish, God bless him. He was obviously the son of a legend, but didn't he work at Killie?
Son of a preacher, man.
Son of a preacher, man. Right, well, it's 2 for 2. Well done, mate. Right, and the last one is UCD, Birmingham, Stockport, Brighton, Rochdale, Crawley, Carlisle, Kilmarnock.
Go again.
UCD,
I said Derry City.
I think that's University College Dublin.
Oh wait, sorry, because that's who Connor Salmon was with, wasn't it?
Birmingham City, Stockport, Brighton.
Oh, Gary Dicker.
Gary Dicker.
Aye.
There
Gary
you go, mate.
Dicker, sorry. Aye.
Well done. 3
Aye.
for 3.
Take that.
Excellent, mate.
But you do feel a different pressure.
With the camera on
Aye,
you.
you do.
With the cameras on you.
Hence why I'm
They were done.
getting mixed up with my Irish counties there.
Aye, easy done, mate. We are now entering Free Irvine. No, we're exiting Free Irvine because we need to get back up the road. Right, listen, everybody, thanks very much for listening. We really appreciate it. Really tremendous result on Sunday. More of the same. Get us into that quarter final. The Ket effect is in full flow.
As aye.
Everybody's feeling good and positive, so let's keep it going that way. Any more shout outs or hellos you want to say?
No, just thank you again, everybody, for listening and paying attention to us.
I want to say a big shout out to my wife because she loves listening and she gets all excited when I say hi, Melanie.
Hi, mate. I hope Mel's feeling better.
She's no.
Whose fault's that?
Mine. Apologies. Right, anyway, well, that days.
Aye, Faith I know wasn't feeling well.
Faith, I know. I'm just a terrible father.
So basically the condition that Monty had last week has never been passed on.
I passed it on. Apologies.
Struggling. You can still hear it in your...
I'm not at full pelt yet, but honestly, next week, wait till you see me. Once I've got a...
You'll be back at it.
Oh, going to be phenomenal.
Back to full fitness.
Right, mate, cheers me.
Cheers.
Cheers. Right, thanks very much for listening. We'll be back next week with a wee review of the Dundee United game. And looking forward to Dundee in the league as well.
You need to drink after your cheers, by the way, it's bad luck.
Alright, sorry, let's do one.
So I've just done it and drank, so...
And you need to look into my eyes and all.
Aye.